All that talk swirling around artificial intelligence. I mean, one minute it's these mind-blowing breakthroughs, the next it's pretty serious warnings.
Absolutely. It's got everyone buzzing, hasn't it? There's this real mix of excitement and, well, definite unease.
Exactly. So today, we're going to try and cut through some of that noise.
Yeah.
We're taking a deep dive specifically into what's behind those public fears about AI.
Right.
We basically pulled together a whole stack of sources, expert reports, industry analysis, even direct quotes from the people actually building this stuff. The mission is really twofold. Understand the core anxieties, and then maybe more importantly, unpack the strategies people are suggesting to, deal with them.
To actually address the concerns.
Yeah. So you listening should walk away with a much clearer idea of the specific worries from top figures, the sort of economic ripples this could cause, and how whole industries might get reshaped.
And we'll balance that, crucially, with a look at the potential roadmap forward. How do we move from just being worried to being, well, informed?
Right. Informed engagement.
And that's where I come in, trying to connect those dots for you, pull together these different viewpoints, and really get to the so what behind all this information.
Perfect.
Because understanding these fears and the ideas for managing them, it isn't just for tech folks. It's pretty essential for, well, everyone navigating the world right now.
Okay, let's get into it then. These AI fears. Sometimes it feels like they get blown up by scary headlines or, movies.
They definitely do get amplified.
But the key thing here, and this is what really stood out from the sources, is that these aren't just like abstract worries. They're coming from the very top, the people actually creating these AI systems.
That's such a critical point, and really acknowledging that, understanding the nuances of these fears, it's like the first step towards handling AI development rationally.
Moving past the hype.
Exactly, getting grounded in what the real challenges are.
So where do we start, I guess, with the big one, the really unsettling fear? AGI takeover.
Yeah, artificial general intelligence.
The idea that it could lead to, well, human extinction or just us losing control permanently. That feels less like science fiction these days.
It's absolutely front of mind for the leading researchers. Take that 145-page Google DeepMind report.
I saw that one. Co-authored by Shane Legg, right?
Yeah, and supported by Demis Hassabis. They're predicting AGI, and they define that pretty clearly, AI performing at or above the 99th percentile of skilled adults in non-physical stuff, maybe as early as 2030.
2030. That's not far off.
Not far at all. And here's the kicker. The report explicitly warns about the, quote, permanent destruction of humanity if we don't get the safeguards right.
Wow. Permanent destruction. They actually used those words.
They did. And they didn't just throw it out there. They broke down the risks into four main types. People misusing it deliberately, the AI's actions not matching what we intended.
Alignment problem.
Exactly. Misalignment. Then there's accidental harm just from bad design, and also these sort of structural risks like how multiple AIs might interact or conflicts between nations using AI.
So the builders are also the ones raising the loudest alarms. That feels significant. It reminds me of Eric Schmidt, the former Google CEO, talking about needing a hand on the plug, metaphorically speaking.
Right, that idea of an off switch. Maintaining human control is key.
Yeah.
And Schmidt's definitely not alone. Look at Geoffrey Hinton, the godfather of AI. He actually left Google so he could speak freely about these risks.
I remember that. Big news.
Huge. He said he just couldn't see a path that guaranteed safety. He worried AI could end humanity.
Did he put any odds on it?
He did, actually. He estimated something like a 10% to 20% chance that advanced AI could seize control or cause extinction within decades.
10 to 20%. That's
Yeah,
sobering.
it is. And you hear similar notes from others. Sam Altman at OpenAI admitted the worst case is lights out for all of us. Elon Musk put the odds of civilization destruction from AI at maybe 20%.
So these aren't fringe opinions.
Not at all. And what's really telling is that hundreds of these leaders, Hinton and Altman included, signed that joint statement.
The one comparing AI risk to pandemics and nuclear war.
That's the one, calling for mitigation of extinction risk from AI to be a global priority. Even the current Google CEO, Sundar Pichai, has acknowledged, the underlying risk is actually pretty high.
Okay, so that's the existential threat looming. But there's another layer of anxiety, isn't there? Something maybe more immediate for businesses and workers, the economic impact.
Yes, definitely. the potential for a big AI crash.
A crash. How so?
Well, it's tied to project failures and just massive amounts of wasted investment. There was a report mentioned by Startup Hack on LinkedIn predicting a 91% failure rate for AI projects.
91%. That's staggering.
It really is. Think about the money involved. That same thinking leads to estimates of around $600 billion in wasted investment.
600 billion. Where does that number come from?
It pops up in a few places. Sequoia Capital and William Blair Equity Research had this analysis they called AI's $600 B question.
Right.
They're basically asking, is all this insane capital spending going to generate enough actual revenue, or is this a bubble waiting to burst?
Like the dot-com bust, but for AI.
Potentially, yeah. MIT economist Darren Acemoglu warned about it too, saying a lot of money is going to get wasted because the returns might just not be there.
So why are so many projects failing? Is it the tech itself or how companies are using it?
It seems to be a mix, but a huge factor, according to sources like Gartner and Forbes, is data.
Data.
Yeah. Poor data quality, or just not having the right kind of data. They reckon 80 to 85% of AI projects fail because of data issues. Forbes put it bluntly. 85% fail due to data.
So it's like having a race car with bad fuel.
Exactly. And bad data isn't just about projects failing. Gartner estimated back in 2021 that poor data quality costs the average organization almost $13 million a year.
Wow. Okay. And beyond the investment risk, there's the job fear.
Right, absolutely. That's probably the most widespread economic fear. Sundar Pichai himself said AI will impact, quote, every product of every company.
Meaning job disruption.
Yes. He specifically mentioned knowledge workers, writers, accountants, architects, even software engineers. People whose jobs involve thinking and information.
So not just routine manual tasks anymore.
Not at all. And Dario Amodei, the CEO of Anthropic, he predicted maybe 50% of entry-level roles could be automated within 5 years.
50% in 5 years.
Yeah. Leading, potentially, he thought, to 10% or even 20% unemployment. Those are pretty stark numbers.
They really are. It's easy to talk about percentages, but you think about someone starting out as a writer or an accountant. That's got to feel worrying.
It's palpable anxiety for millions, absolutely.
Is there any counter-argument? Any upside economically?
Yeah.
Or is it all doom and gloom on the job front?
Well, there is a counter-narrative. Demis Hassabis at DeepMind, for instance, he's more optimistic.
What's his take?
He suggests AI will actually create new jobs we haven't even thought of yet and generally just supercharge our productivity.
So more efficient, maybe different jobs.
Exactly. But, and this is important, even he acknowledges the transition could be really disruptive for a lot of people. New jobs might appear, but old ones change or disappear first. That transition period is where the anxiety really hits.
Right. Okay, let's zoom in on one specific area you mentioned. The software industry. That's huge, right? Like trillions of dollars.
Massive. Around $5.75 trillion globally. And yes, there's significant concern there.
What's the specific fear for software?
The core fear is that AI could just fundamentally change how software is made and used. Maybe reducing the need for lots of separate applications or even teams of engineers, especially for more routine coding tasks.
How so?
Well, there was this Medium article with a pretty provocative title. AI as the operating system will erase the trillion-dollar application software industry.
Erase it? That sounds extreme.
The argument is basically that AI itself becomes the new OS. Instead of you learning different software, the AI just adapts to what you need on the fly.
Interesting idea.
And this could create what some sources call a generational divide, meaning AI might make experienced developers, mid-level, and senior folks much more productive. But it could automate away the tasks usually done by junior developers, making it way harder to get started in the field.
So experienced people get a boost, but entry-level gets squeezed out.
That's the concern. Another Medium piece by Mark Emanuel argued AI destroys software engineering, saying it changes the job so much, maybe unsustainably, and takes over tasks junior teams used to handle.
Okay, that sounds pretty bleak for anyone learning to code right now. But surely there's another side to this. You can't just wipe out a $5 trillion industry.
Absolutely not. There's a strong counter perspective. Look at Kathy Wood's ARK Investment Management.
What do they project?
They see AI creating a massive opportunity in software, potentially a $13 trillion market by 2030.
$13 trillion. How does that work if AI is doing the coding?
Their view is that AI dramatically reduces the cost of building software. They think AI assistants will actually write more code than humans soon.
So cheaper, faster development.
Exactly. Which could lead to an explosion of new AI-powered applications, new platforms for building AI, new tools to manage it all.
Hmm.
So it's less about erasure, much more about a profound transformation.
Okay, that makes sense. Evolution, not extinction.
Precisely.
Right, so we've walked through some major fears: existential risk, economic crash, industry disruption. Where do we go from here? How do we actually, address these things proactively?
That's the critical question, isn't it? Moving beyond just cataloging the fears, it requires a multi-pronged strategy.
Okay.
The goal isn't to shut down AI or dismiss the worries, but to build trust, ensure safety, and frankly also highlight the incredible positive potential.
So a balanced approach.
Yeah.
What's the first pillar of that strategy?
Pillar one has to be emphasizing the benefits. We need to get much better at articulating the upside of AI.
Like what specifically? Give us some examples.
Okay, think healthcare. AI is already helping diagnose diseases earlier, speeding up the discovery of new drugs, enabling personalized medicine based on your specific biology. That's huge. Or climate science. AI can model incredibly complex climate systems, help optimize energy use, find new materials for batteries or carbon capture, things humans struggle with at that scale.
Okay, healthcare, climate. What else?
Education. Personalized learning, AI tutors accessible to anyone, anytime, breaking down barriers. And then there's economic prosperity driving innovation, creating those new industries and jobs we talked about, boosting productivity.
So the message is, it's not just a threat, it's a tool for progress.
Exactly. And reinforcing that idea we touched on AI is more likely to restructure industries than destroy them. Like the software example, it transforms things, creates new roles that complement what humans do.
And AGI itself could tackle really big problems.
Potentially, yes. Analyzing complex biological data for medical breakthroughs, modeling global systems, tasks that are just too complex right now, unlocking new knowledge.
Okay, paint the positive picture. That makes sense. But people will still worry about control, about safety. So, pillar two.
Pillar two, strong AI safety measures and ethical guidelines. This is absolutely crucial for building trust.
How do companies and governments actually show they're committed to safety? It can't just be talk.
No, it needs concrete action. We're seeing frameworks emerge, like DeepMind's Frontier Safety Framework.
What does that involve?
Things like rigorously assessing AI capabilities before deployment, planning mitigations for identified risks. It's about being proactive.
Okay.
Robust safety means investing heavily in alignment research, that challenge of making sure AI goals stay aligned with human values, even as it gets super intelligent. That's maybe the hardest part.
Alignment. That sounds tricky.
It's incredibly complex. How do you define human values? How do you encode them? Plus, you need strong security to prevent misuse. And then there's regulation.
Like the EU AI Act.
Exactly. That's a big one. It categorizes AI by risk level. High-risk systems face strict rules, risk assessments, transparency, good data governance, preventing bias, protecting privacy. It sets a benchmark.
Are there general ethical principles too?
Yes. Like the European Commission's guidelines for trustworthy AI, they emphasize things like human oversight, technical robustness, safety, privacy, transparency. These principles are becoming standard.
You mentioned alignment techniques earlier,
Yeah.
like AI checking AI.
Right. Techniques like amplified oversight, where one AI essentially supervises or critiques another's reasoning to catch flaws, or debate mechanisms, where two AIs argue different sides of an issue to expose weaknesses in reasoning.
Like a digital debate team.
Sort of, and always keeping a human in the loop for really important decisions. Plus, things like Google's Secure AI framework, building security in from the very start.
So for a company using AI, what are the practical steps?
It boils down to things like having diverse teams building the AI, setting clear ethical rules internally, constantly checking your data for fairness and accuracy, testing rigorously for bias or privacy issues, being transparent about how the AI works, and staying on top of the evolving regulations.
That's a lot, but it sounds necessary. Which brings us to maybe pillar three. If safety is the how, what about the why behind the fear, the understanding gap?
Exactly. Pillar three is strengthening education and public understanding. So much fear comes from just not knowing, from misconceptions.
So AI literacy for everyone.
Pretty much. We need comprehensive educational campaigns, clarify what AI is, what it isn't, separate the science fact from the, Terminator fiction.
Right.
An informed public can actually participate constructively. They can ask the right questions, make better judgments instead of just reacting out of fear.
What are the biggest myths we need to bust?
Well, the big one is probably AI will take all our jobs.
Which we discussed isn't necessarily true.
Right. The reality is much more nuanced. AI transforms jobs. It creates new kinds of work, managing AI systems, training them, guiding how they're used. Some estimates predict millions of new jobs by 2025, driven by AI.
And it makes existing jobs different.
Yeah, often more efficient. It handles the routine stuff, freeing up humans for more complex, creative, strategic thinking. That's a huge potential benefit.
Okay, what's another myth?
The idea that AI will just spontaneously become conscious and, evil, like Skynet.
Right, the sentient machine.
The reality is current AI, even advanced AI, is a tool. A very sophisticated tool, but designed to augment human capabilities, not replace our consciousness or develop its own malevolent agenda.
So education needs to tackle those head on.
Absolutely. And tailor the message for different groups, emphasize critical thinking, and, interestingly, point out how many user-friendly AI tools people already use without thinking about it. Navigation apps, voice assistants. It demystifies it, shows it's not some impossibly complex thing only geniuses understand.
Okay, benefits, safety, education. What's the last piece? AI is global.
Exactly. Pillar 4, foster global collaboration and ethical standards. This can't be done country by country.
Why is international cooperation so vital here?
Because AI doesn't respect borders. Development happens everywhere. Deployment happens everywhere. We need some level of regulatory harmony.
Like the EU AI Act, setting a standard others might follow.
Precisely. Or the OECD AI principles, international safety agreements. The goal is to get towards unified standards for ethical AI, no matter where it's built.
Does that include getting different cultural perspectives?
It has to. We need diverse voices from different economies, different cultures, to make sure AI benefits are shared widely and don't just, make existing inequalities worse.
So things like global AI summits, joint research.
Yes, exactly. Building on existing frameworks like those OECD principles or the UNESCO recommendations on AI ethics, but making them more specific, more actionable globally.
Are companies getting involved in this?
Leading labs are. Google DeepMind, for example, talks about engaging with governments, civil society, other companies to push for safety standards and participate in these policy discussions. It needs everyone at the table.
So the big picture for global collaboration is
It's about guiding the development of powerful AI, especially AGI, with a shared commitment across borders to human well-being and preventing harm. And that takes constant dialogue, constant negotiation.
right. So bringing it all together then. If we systematically tackle these 4 pillars, benefits, safety, education, collaboration, the idea is we can shift the conversation.
Exactly. Move from fear and uncertainty towards more constructive dialogue and informed action. Make AI work for us, not against us.
But it's not just up to the tech companies or governments, is it?
Absolutely not. Zooming out, this is a genuinely collective effort. It needs everyone playing a part.
Developers,
Developers have to build safe, ethical AI from the ground up.
policymakers.
Need to craft smart, adaptable regulations. Not stifle innovation, but ensure safety.
Educators.
Crucial for fostering that broad AI literacy we talked about.
And the rest of us, the general public.
We need to stay informed, ask questions, engage in the conversation, not just be passive recipients.
Because if we all do our part,
Then the hope is humanity can harness AI's incredible power, use it to tackle huge global challenges, improve lives, and, build a future where this technology is truly an ally.
we covered a lot of ground today. From those really deep fears voiced by the creators themselves all the way to this pretty comprehensive strategy for moving forward.
Yeah.
It really highlights how important it is to be informed, doesn't it? To understand what's really going on as we shape this future with AI.
It really does. And just to underline that point again, this whole conversation about AI, it's not just for the experts in labs or the politicians in capital cities. It's genuinely for everyone.
Because it touches everything.
Every part of our lives eventually.
So thinking about that, as AI keeps evolving so quickly and knowing it takes this collective effort to manage the risks and grab the benefits, here's something for you, the listener, to think about. What role do you see yourself playing in this ongoing dialogue and the development of this really powerful technology?